What's up? On our play for this week, PlayStation's live service plan has been cut in half. Is this why Jim Ryan stepped down? We don't know, but we'll talk about it. GTA 6 trailer is confirmed for December. We will see it at the Game Awards. Or will we? The latest Mass Effect news has a huge caveat everyone is missing. And it's pretty serious one actually. And then me, myself, Sean, and his cousin Savion got to play Modern Warfare Zombies, MWZ, new thing. It's sort of
Mm.
like DMZ, but is it better? We'll talk about it. All this and more on season 7, episode 44, Press X Star Gamers Digest. Checking, making sure everything is good. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka Conspiracy Connor is here. It's a new person that I've created for myself when we're talking about this live service stuff with PlayStation. I'm seeing things, I'm connecting things together, I'm making puzzle pieces in my head. I have a whole giant picture. We'll talk about it. I am joined by
Sean MF Ross.
what does the MF stand for?
We them island boys, but not those island
Ooh,
boys, but the
you're right.
island boys.
Exactly. Good. Great. Now you know who we are. Press X Star Gamers Digest is a video podcast that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, YouTube.
Almost every Sunday.
Almost. Don't forget, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or the podcast services you are tuned in on. And if you want, you can join our conversations by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/discord. All right. With that out the way, let us jump into the gaming news. Number one, Sony's plan for 12 live service PlayStation games by 2026 just got cut in half. This is given to us from Polygon by way of Michael McWhorter. So, shortly after Sony acquired Destiny's developer Bungie, the PlayStation maker announced its ambitious plan to launch more than 10 live service games by the end of Sony's 2025 fiscal year. A year later, that plan became slightly more clear. Sony wanted 12 live service games on PlayStation by then. But according to an update from Sony's president, COO, and CFO, Hiroki Totoki, the company now plans to have just 6 online multiplayer games released by the end of Sony's 2025 fiscal year, which will end in March 31, 2026. The rest will come later, Totoki said during Sony's earning call presentation QA session on Thursday, whatever, this past Thursday. Totoki said in comments translated to English that Sony still has 12 live service titles planned, but that company is currently reviewing. Oh, but that the company is currently reviewing them in order to meet gamers' expectations and to ensure that those games will be played and liked for a long time, because you need that long time for live service. Uh, Mid to long term, we want to expand this kind of service, Totoki said. That's the unchanged policy of our company. But he stressed that our quality should be most important when it comes to launching new live service games. Okay. All right. So PlayStation's weird move to say, hey, we are going to work on 12, or I guess 10, and then 12 live service games. Now it's being brought down to 6. There's something to note that Destiny's Marathon is actually not included in this.
Well,
So that was
no, they still want to release 12 games, but they're promising that 6 will come out by 2026, March
2026.
2026.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
even still, that original forecast of 12 games by the end of just 2020, that's very ambitious. They don't have the studios to do that. I don't even know who that announcement was originally for. Microsoft now has the amount of studios to do that. Sony doesn't. Who is going to be working on 12 live service games?
You are absolutely right. Like, because we even talked about when they said 12 live service games, we were just like, That makes no sense. Like, in any realm of any multiverse dimension that you exist in, that makes no sense to say, "Hey, we're gonna put out
Yeah,
12 live service games within," at that point, I think it was within 4 years. It was like 2022-ish, maybe?
that's
But yeah,
true.
it's just like, why would you even do that to yourself? Like, just say like, "Hey, we're working on live service stuff." And to me, and this is where I get into my little conspiracy thing,
Mm,
I feel like this is all like all this stuff that's happening is just I guess a waterfall from Jim Ryan saying, "Hey, look, I'm retiring, guys." And it's like, if you look at PS5's track record in terms of what they were doing, the big thing they were pushing is these AAA single player experiences, right?
yeah,
And that's kind of a holdover from like PS4, PlayStation, where like
I'd say
they
PS3 days
yeah,
with
you're right,
Uncharted
you're
and
right.
all that. Yeah,
Yeah, where it was like part of it was like they have these really like really cool like indie experiences, but then
mhm,
the flagpole of the ship that was PlayStation was their AAA like single player games. And it feels like Jim Ryan's contribution to PlayStation was one, keeping that ship sailing, but also, hey, live service is making money. Live service is doing the thing in terms of Genshin Impact, in terms of Call of Duty, Apex Legends, like all the big live service
we
games that
need
we
some of that
have today.
sauce.
Yeah, we need some of that money. So let's do this thing. And it just, the number 12 really just feels like a corporate thing and not really vetted by any person in that like circle that plays games, maybe plays live service games, realize 12 is this a ridiculous number. So to say that, have us all react to it. And then earlier this year, we had the state of play or showcase that had X number of these trailers for the live service games. And everyone's just like,
Yeah,
what is this? It kind of just died on the vein. There was articles released about, oh, PlayStation's live service plan is dying, is not working or whatever, and we haven't seen a single game. And it's like everybody is just reacting to what they've been given, really and truly. And it's not much, but like I think that all kind of works into, and then we have the Last of Us factions
yeah.
thing being a completely like just a mess. Bungie saying, "Hey, no, we're not. This is not good. We don't really believe in this." It's just this is just a very very bad move at the wrong time, and I think in my mind, Sony, PlayStation looks at this and just like, "Well, Jim, you spend a lot of money on this, and it looks like we're gonna have to spend even more money on this to make these games viable for us." And
I
like
mean,
PlayStation,
it was a fair assessment of what was hot and where the future was going in games at the time that they probably made it.
exactly, exactly. They made a bet, and it doesn't. It seems like the bet's not necessarily a bad bet, but it's a bet that requires a lot of money. And PlayStation is a company that yes makes a lot of money, but they don't make an infinite amount of money like say like a Microsoft, where like Microsoft has funds coming from every other place.
Multiple streams, yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's just like to me, this feels like this is the fallout that we get after the whole Jim Ryan leaving. Like this is just to me, this is the puzzle pieces that equates to why he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna sit down because I don't want to have to deal with figuring out any of this stuff. Um,
I ain't mad at him.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like, man, look, on top of all this, I have to travel from the US to or from the EU to US, and I just want to be with my family. I get it, but like, this is just a mess. I say all of that, and I follow it up with, "This is fantastic news."
Why?
This is fantastic news because the issue that we all had was like 12 is too many games. Like, even if you put these
I
games
mean,
out,
everybody doesn't have to play everything, so yes
ex-
and no.
exactly, exactly. Everyone doesn't have to play everything. But in order for a live service game to be a live service, it has to have a, continuing fan base essentially. So if you're putting out a live service game and then a couple months you're putting out another live service games, and these are all technically like PlayStation live service games, you
Hmm.
are kind of targeting that PlayStation audience. So that audience is going to jump from one to another to see to at least experience what it is, and then maybe they stick around, maybe they don't. But like you get into a thing of this group of PlayStation gamers just bouncing from one to the other, and
I
maybe
mean,
some
not
sticking.
necessarily because we don't know what genres they were gonna be.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know, but it just like just based off of how this is structured. I mean, because we did some like predictions in terms of what games, like, and there was also leaks like the Horizon
Yeah,
multiplayer like Monster Hunter like thing. We have factions. I think there were the two um PlayStation Studio games that at least we know is going to have a multiplayer thing.
yeah.
But it is just yeah, it's it sucks and they have to tell us this, but at the same time, I think this is actually for the better because as Totoki says, they value quality. What's the thing? Yeah, quality should be most important. And like the fact that they are eyeing that and they're like, hey, look, we're going to delay this stuff. That means that when we get these games, they are going to be of some quality, which is
One could
great.
hope.
One can hope. Right, right, right. But then, you also have to balance that with it's a live service thing. And every game that launches as a live service game, that first month is rough. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Um, yeah, what's your you got any thoughts on this?
I got
Oh yeah.
nothing yet. We just have to wait and
Conspiracy
see.
Connor is out.
Oh,
There you go. I'm
I
back.
got nothing yet. We just gotta wait and see. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think they just announced too much too early, and that just hurts you.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think that announcement was just pride. It doesn't even from a like business standpoint, it doesn't make sense why they would put themselves in a hole like that. Because it's like, well, you could have said, hey, we're gonna work on 3 AAA live
Yeah,
service things. And it's just like, all right, cool. We believe you, Sony, because you
that could have
make
been an
AAA
internal
games great.
report or something.
Yeah. Right, right. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Number 2. GTA is coming, guys. Rockstar plans to announce new Grand Theft Auto 6 release trailer. This comes from Bloomberg. Let me
More
pull this up
specifically,
here. Jason Schreier nailed it. Rockstar Games, a division of Take-Two Interactive Software, confirmed Wednesday that it will begin promoting a new Grand Theft Auto game next month. Next month is December, so be ready. The company plans to release a trailer for the game in December, according to a blog post by Rockstar's president, Sam Hauser. The commercial for the game will coincide with Rockstar's 25th anniversary. So, when this news dropped,
yeah.
literally set the internet on fire because GTA is literally like one of the biggest IPs in human history. I don't
I
know.
think
It's
it was
huge.
the most liked tweet with like 75 million views and over a million, like some wild shit like that. Is it
That
even
is
called tweets anymore? I don't know. I'm old.
X's. I don't know, man.
Triple X's.
I have no idea what's going on over on that side. But yeah, that is insane. This is insane. When this trailer drops, it will be insane. The question though is there is sort of a big thing happening early December in the games industry, and that is what is that, Sean?
Game Awards.
The Game Awards. You're right. You nailed it. So the
Which
question,
Marcus will be in attendance again.
he
Shout
will.
out.
Well, he will.
Sound on.
Hopefully he'll be somewhat close in the front and can potentially save Jeff Keighley from the next person who wants to walk on stage and start saying some stuff on
Or
GTA
sniff Neil
6.
Druckmann's hair again. One or the other. 50-50. Toss up.
Right. Either way, it'll be content. um, so yeah, so Game Awards is happening early December, and it's like, well, is this gonna be at Game Awards? Sean, do you think we're gonna see GTA 6 trailer at Game Awards?
They don't need the Game Awards though,
They don't.
especially with the advent and the with the YouTube. I guess yeah, like when GTA 5 trailer dropped, it was on YouTube. That shit was bonkers. At
Hmm.
this point, like Jeff Keighley isn't paying people to debut trailers, right?
As far as I know,
So they don't.
Rockstar gets nothing from putting it
Yeah,
on.
Rockstar doesn't need press from everybody. They just send out a tweet and boom. Like I can see it happening, but they don't need to.
Yeah,
It'd
yeah,
be cool to experience it live with everybody. We might do a react to some shit. I don't know, but
yeah, for sure.
they definitely don't need this.
Yeah. I am totally there with you. I think like what you just said, it will be nice is literally the it's literally like the thing as to why Rockstar would do this. It would be nice to have this giant moment in games industry, games history happen at the Game Awards. As it is right now, there really hasn't been any like notification from Jeff Keighley to like, hey guys, get ready for
Nah, I
the
mean,
Game
he can.
Awards.
He can't.
Yeah, no, exactly. He can't. Like the one thing he's pushing right now is the nominees for the actual Game Awards that's going to happen on Monday. So, you know, it's possible that if Rockstar is going to push out this trailer at the Game Awards, they're like, "Hey, Keeley, you don't get to say anything about this guy." And of course, he's gonna be like, "Yep, sure, all right, boss. I won't say anything."
We'll
So
see.
we'll see. Fingers crossed, though, because I think that would be like literally a historic moment for the Game Awards. Like if there was any other thing that can
Mhm.
completely just put E3 in the grave even further, it would be this. So we'll see what happens. Um, some more actual GTA news, which is interesting. GTA 6 might be easier to develop with AI, but Take Two won't drop the price. This comes to us by Dexerto, right?
Mhm.
Dexerto? There we go. By way of Ethan Dean. So, oh no, it didn't capture the thingy, the thingamabobs. All right. So, a GTA 6 studio executive revealed their plans for the use of generative AI in the company's future. However, despite a potential reduction in costs from efficiency, games won't get any less expensive. So,
For a
so
game like Grand Theft Auto, I would not expect it to get any cheaper.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
of all the franchises, with all the content they pack in there, and as long as they took to make this game, no, I don't expect it to be cheaper.
Yeah. So real quick, there's a quote
Yeah.
from them. So our entertainment properties are created largely in and by computers. We value tools. We create those tools internally, and we license tools as well. Zelnick explained to investors. The new developments in AI are really exciting, and I've said publicly and repeatedly that I believe they will help create efficiency. And he's absolutely right. And Sean, you're absolutely right. It's one of those things where I look at it and we see the $70 price tag. Yes, it went from 60 to 70 because we're getting, more impressive games. But at the same time, that price, we all know that price tag should not be 60, should not be 70. It should have been way more. So
People are
we
not
have this.
taking inflation into account
Yeah,
and what
exactly.
the dollar is worth back then. And like, if anything, if the game stayed $60, even if it stayed $60, it would still be getting cheaper with inflation.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
people forget that some Super Nintendo games are $70 and $80, which
exactly.
is I don't
Exactly.
even know how much that's worth in today's dollars.
Right. So yeah, so you you have all this stuff to consider, and on top of that, like us, the consumers, we are constantly wanting more quality, more things to do in these games. We want to live in these games, so that's going to require man hours. And if they are able to use AI as a tool for efficiency, but at the same time,
Hmm.
that efficiency doesn't mean you fire people. these efficiencies actually just helping the development, happen faster, happen smoother, then it's like, yeah, sure, go ahead, use AI, make it do what it do, and we'll play these, more efficiently developed games. Great. But I say all this by saying Rockstar, Take Two, you cannot use these AI tools, these efficiency means, which would equal to people being fired. Like that's not the path that, you
Yes, it
know.
is. No, I'm not even joking. Yes, it is.
I
When
know,
you
I know
get
you're not
more
joking.
efficient, you use
Exactly.
less manpower when you. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
No, no, you're absolutely right though. Like that's the thing that I'm like dancing around in
Conflicted
terms of
on.
like, yeah, exactly. It's like this is a great thing to like because we all know like game making games is very difficult. It requires a lot of man hours. It requires a lot of overtime. And if you're able to streamline that stuff with a more efficient tool or whatever, that's awesome. But if you take that efficiency and it's like, oh great, we don't need you, and you, then it's like, no, 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 no. No, this is not that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But of course, they're gonna look at the money and be like, oh, this is actually a thing we can do. So
Mm,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, we also don't know. We're just assuming the scope of GTA 6
yeah,
by looking at GTA 5, and there, we really don't have any evidence of like what the map's going to
it
be
being
like,
as
what's going to
big.
be. Yeah, and there's
I
also
mean, if you're gonna take this long to develop it, how long did GTA 5 take to develop?
that's a good question. I have no idea,
If
but
you're
like
gonna take
from
this, yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
okay. Yeah, but like from what we do know that the GTA 6 will center around a like Bonnie and Clyde story where I believe you could play as either one of the pair and they are like robbing convenience stores and doing that stuff. There was leaks that was shown. Of course,
Mhm.
Rockstar slash Take Two attacked everybody who put the leaks up. So, don't do that again. Um,
GTA 5 took 3 years.
what?
This shit is yeah. I'm looking at it now. Work on it began after GTA 4's release in April of '08. Full development lasted approximately 3 years. Yeah,
That's
this
insane.
game is about to be huge. They're not releasing another game until my child can drive.
You're not wrong, but that's insane. GTA 5 took 3 years. Whoa.
I mean, it was with 360 people, and then they had help with team
Yeah.
of
Okay.
over a
Yeah.
thousand. So at this point,
Okay.
this game is about to be ridiculous.
Yeah. And then another thing we have to always consider is the weight of GTA Online and
Hmm.
how, when GTA 5 released, they released the story mode first and then they released online and we got online. It was a trash fire for the first like couple of months or so, but then it got better and
Hmm.
it slowly got better and better and better to this juggernaut of a service that it is now. And I think looking at GTA 6, they're probably not going to make that mistake and launch a like buggy GTA Online. So it's very possible that I would imagine they probably do the same thing where they do the single player first, so people just can get that, I guess, out the way, and then jump into online and have that just be a thriving thing again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Number 3, the next Mass Effect isn't expected until 2029 or later. Reports claims this comes from VGC by way of thing is loading. Thing is loading. Chris Scullion. So you heard it.
I fully expect them to re-release another trilogy remastered in between, and that's what 6 years from now. That's what?
So, so as I said at the start of this podcast, this trailer, I'm about to show the trailer. The trailer, super cool. It sets a tone. People are speculating who is walking the walk. I think there was talks that apparently like Fem Shep is going to be like the default Shep for this. It's possible that this is Fem Shep. I Mass Effect, I played 2, thought it was a great game. Didn't play 3, and I kind of left it there. I didn't play 1 because of the Xbox thing. So
Hmm, hmm.
I don't know. I don't have a breadth of knowledge. Jordan is our Mass Effect guy, and he's currently not here because he is living a life. Um, so yeah, it's like, yeah, this is cool. This is weird. The caveat is Dragon Age Dreadwolf. That's supposed to be a game that's coming out soon. Why you guys show a Mass Effect? Show us something Dreadwolf related,
Um,
possibly.
it's not for us more than likely. It's more so for stock prices and all that shit.
Yeah, and then there's also the whole like N7 day, which is like, oh, let's give them something that's cool. And it's like that part's cool, but then like uh, the hope, and I'm gonna hold my tongue. The hope is we get some kind of Dreadwolf announcement at the Game Awards, and it's like this is our plate for you guys. We gave you a little Mass Effect, a Mass Effect what 5 teaser, and then over
Hmm.
here we're gonna do this Dreadwolf thing, so you guys know that it's coming next year. I don't know if it's coming next year. I'm just saying. And then also to note, along with this trailer, there was some text, and one of the texts was like Andromeda distress signal, like confirmed or received or something. So they're just kind of giving, they're basically telling you like, yeah, Andromeda is going to be part of this, or at least that story is going to be part of Mass Effect 5, which is fine. Although Andromeda was a bad game, it's possible that within this time they can do a remaster or re-release or something where they try to like fix that so it's something of a better game. Will they spend the money on that? Probably doesn't make sense to, but whatever. We'll see. So before we jump into Nintendo doing a live action movie of Zelda, possibly making Tom Holland Link, we'll see. Hey, you, how you doing? You good? Good. Please do us a favor. Like this video. Just hit that little thumbs up. It's like right there. No, actually, no. It's like right there. Right
If you don't,
there. Hit that thumbs up, please. We need it. Um, what do you do? Subscribe to the channel, and then hit the notification bell. Because if you do those 3 things, you'd be greatly appreciated by us. And you want to be appreciated by us because we give you cookies. Yes.
and Apple
If
Cinema.
you if you are listening to us and not watching, you should watch. That'd be great. But you're probably busy. So leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast services you're currently tuned in on. Thank you. I see the review. It's a great review. Appreciate it. And if you want to listen, if you want to join our conversations, you can by joining our Discord at pressxnumber2start.com/Discord. So thank you for doing those 3 things. All right, let's get back. Number 4, Nintendo is making a live action Zelda movie. This comes from The Verge by way of, wait a minute, Andrew Webster. So you heard it. They're making a live action movie. There's a quote from Miyamoto. This is Miyamoto, in case you don't know. I have been working on the live action film The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Ardson. Oh, Avi Ardson. Okay. Who has produced many mega hit films, Miyamoto said in a statement posted on X, formerly Twitter. We might be we might be waiting a while for the movie, however, Miyamoto said. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it.
Hmm.
So, so
I
essentially,
think I think
Miyamoto,
I think the news here is that Sony and Nintendo are producing this.
yes, I was about to say that. Yeah. So Sony's actually the producer
Oh,
of this movie. Yeah.
yeah.
So that's interesting because we don't get this kind of synergy. I never got this kind of synergy actually. So that's cool. The part that is concerning is that this is going to be a live action thing. It's going to be a live action Zelda. Is that a good idea, Sean? Is that a good idea?
Um, as long as it has 2 things.
Mm.
As long as it has Navi saying, "Hey, listen," and then we get Link saying, "Well, excuse me, princess." As long as we get those 2 things,
Yeah.
it'll be a hit. If you don't know what those two
Oh,
things mean, too young to be listening.
you're young. You're young. You're just one of those young people, just polluting the sky. But yeah, so yeah, this is a weird thing. We had Mario movie. It was a hit. It was awesome. It was great. It was a fun movie. But it was also an animated movie by Illumination. And they're known for their animated works. Making a live action Zelda or Legend of Zelda is such a weird proposition
Hmm.
because you won't necessarily be able to hide. I mean, I guess you could hide the blood and stuff that's happening with Link literally killing the goblins or well,
My guy, they have plenty of movies with killing with no blood. It'll be okay.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is like this is Miyamoto doing this. So I'm just like, all right, let him cook.
Hmm.
He's gonna do something great because that's what he does. But it's weird. It's weird. Like, okay, all right, let's see what you got. So yeah, but that's pretty much it. There's not too much left to that.
Yeah.
Number 5. Sonic Dev wants to know what Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and Armor Core 6 have that Frontiers doesn't. All right. This comes to us by from Games Radar by way of Hope Bellingham. So, in an interview with Famatsu, Sega game director Morio Kishimoto and producer Kawamura discussed Sonic Frontier's success and questioned what it's lacking when compared to other popular games. It's been a year since Sega published Sonic Frontiers, and although not everyone was blown away by the title, take our Sonic. Okay, whatever. That's a plug right there. It still managed to sell 3.5 million copies worldwide at that time.
That ain't bad.
That's not bad,
Games
but
have been canceled for less.
that's you're not wrong, especially when it comes to Square Enix.
Yeah, it's not nearly enough for Square Enix.
Man.
Underperformed.
So, reflecting on this impressive achievement, Kawamura said, "Well, to be honest, I want to go much more further. I think we can go further." Before revealing that Sonic the Hedgehog titles tend to sell for a long time after their release. And so 3.5 million copies actually isn't that big of a number in terms of Sonic games.
Mm.
That's great. Okay, so and this is the last bit that is really important. Interestingly, the pair also revealed that Sonic Frontiers sold better in the West than it did domestically, which led Kishimoto to question what is stop no what is it that stops people from picking it up? What is it lacking? What failed to resonate with them? The director then goes to
Is he
say
talking about his
what
own country? What failed to resonate with
yeah,
Japan?
in terms of people picking up
Oh.
Sonic. So, what did we miss then thinking of ways to appeal to players? If there's something that The Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom or Armor Core 6 have that Sonic Frontier doesn't have, we want to know.
What is
There,
that that we don't? That's
like,
hilarious.
what is it saying? Like, um, don't, what is it? Don't,
I don't
whatever.
know.
There.
Don't
Yeah,
look to see if your neighbor has as much as you. See if they have
no,
enough.
don't smoke your own supply. Essentially, it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
don't compare Sonic with Armor Core 6 or Tears of the Kingdom.
It's clearly just as good, DJ. I
It,
mean, look at.
you know
Hey,
what? You
hey,
know
what
what?
did Armored Core sell?
A lot, I
Exactly,
think. Let me.
exactly.
I'll look.
It ain't
But
sell no 3 point whatever million.
I'm missing stuff, so I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see better because obviously I don't know what's happening
It ain't gonna
between
help you, DJ.
Sonic Frontier. So actually, yeah. I'm gonna look up what Armor Core sold. Um, yeah. So this is
Why embarrass yourself?
insane because hold on. Sold copies. Yeah, this is insane because okay, so it sold 2.8 million copies.
What did?
Armor Core 6.
Color me impressed.
Yeah. And I think the thing to note is that I think the thing that they get confused is that yes, Sonic is a very, very, very strong franchise. Like it
Mhm.
has a strong IP. There is movies, there's TV shows, there's cartoons, there's video games like Sonic, there's merchandise. So Sonic covers every, area of
Facet.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have that saturation, you're going to have, kids just seeing Sonic and be like, "Oh, I want that new thing." And they're going to download Frontiers. Are they going to play it? Maybe, maybe not. But they are going to at least want it and try to get that thing because it's Sonic and they love Sonic. The issue is just the quality of their games. The industry has said time and time again, the quality of Sonic games have been lacking. We had Sonic Mania be, is it Mania? That was
Yeah,
like the high
Mania was a
point.
yeah.
Yeah. Sonic Mania was a high point. That studio that made that game wanted to make a sequel to that game. Sonic said, no, we're going to give it to the Sonic team. So Sonic Mania team made another game that was a good game. And it's just like, Sonic, Sonic team, you don't understand that it's your developers that is the issue because your developers are just not able to pull themselves out of this is Sonic, but just, you need to make a good game that is Sonic.
Damn.
So for him this to be like this, just like, yeah, I just don't get it. Like, man, and it's unfortunate though because like as I've said a number of times, like I grew up as a Sonic kid and like I still have love for Sonic, but they're really like really and truly a way to get me to probably play a new Sonic would be if they made like a Sonic Adventures game that like
Hmm.
3D Sonic-ish, but like refine that game so it's not just like grind this rail, jump here, dodge here. But it's like, well, how do you do that? And I don't have an answer for that. But like the normal 2D Sonics, like it just doesn't that doesn't resonate with me anymore, unfortunately.
You don't like no baby boo boo ass games?
Somewhere Cam is smiling right now. So yeah, like what's your thoughts on this?
They just don't know what makes Sonic fun. They don't know
That's
how
a
to
good
make a
way. Yeah.
fun game ultimately.
Yeah.
Nintendo has, by Mario's nature, it has allowed them to experiment with Mario doing different things.
Hmm.
Sonic was originally made to do one thing and one thing only, and that kind of pigeonholed him. It was to show this the quote unquote blast processing of the Sega Genesis and how fast he was, and where do you go from there?
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
You're changing
Yeah.
what people loved about him, or
Right.
gameplay wise, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like Sonic had, for lack of better words, the gimmick of going fast. And at the time, like it was really cool to see. And the Sonic team did a good job of like managing that gimmick and made it fun, between game and game and game. But like we are years removed from that. And it's just like, all right, well, there are more games that does, you know, different and more interesting things. And it's just like, all right, well, this going fasting is no longer not fun, but it's no longer intriguing. So it's just like, all right, well, what
It's no
else can
longer a
Sonic do?
novel idea.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, what else can Sonic do? And they don't really have an answer for that. So it's just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna move on and get a game like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
Mm.
so yeah, yeah. Hopefully, someone will help them work that out. Number 6, Malign Modern Warfare 3 developed in just 18 months. Staff required to work nights and weekends. This comes from Push Square by way of uh, Kale Adam. So, yeah. So, a bombshell report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier revealed that Modern Warfare 3 was developed in less than 18 months, less than the typical 3-year turnaround the series is known for. Activision Blizzard has achieved this.
But I
What's this?
mean, it shows, right, with the short
Campaign.
campaign, and I mean, they didn't
Yeah.
really. They just revitalized Modern Warfare 2 maps, the original maps, and then threw together, a new DMZ map with zombies. I mean, it shows, and I mean, it's fine. Their
Yeah.
fans don't require very much, just some new maps, some new guns and tweaks to the gameplay. It's perfected at this point. It shouldn't take 3 to 4 years to make a new Call of Duty, especially if they're not going hard on the campaign like they used to anymore.
Yeah, I think because I ever since the IGN giving Call of Duty like a 4 out of 10 or whatever, I've been like not even scouring. I've just been looking around to like get like a better sense of
Barometer,
w-
yeah.
yeah, like where everyone's at because I think Call of Duty does the best in giving the vocal minority a voice when it comes to like Call of Duty's trash, Call of Duty sucks, all that stuff. And it's just like, all right, if it actually sucked, if it was actually trash, people would stop playing the game. But like
Nah,
it just sells. But the thing,
nah.
but no, but that's the thing though. It's just like people would actually stop playing the game because they wouldn't enjoy the game. Like they would buy the game, but they wouldn't invest in the microtransactions.
I
Because it's just like,
think
nah, I'm not gonna
people
spend that.
are used to a certain gameplay and they're hooked on it. They have perfected the gun feel, the
Yeah.
bullet sound when you're hitting somebody. That's like saying Madden or FIFA, or NBA 2K is great, and it's people just want to play with their friends. This is what their friends are playing.
But yeah,
They
but
release the
what
same damn game every year with just roster updates and
yeah,
minimal gameplay changes for the same price. Call of Duty is pretty much one of those things now.
exactly. But what I'm saying is that like if you look at like Madden, there's
Hmm.
no real alternative to Madden. But if you look
Yeah,
at Call of Duty, there's tons of alternatives. You can
no,
play
there ain't.
Rainbow Six Siege, you can
No, there
play
ain't.
Apex Legends. No, but
No,
like there is alternatives in terms of this is a first person shooter I can play with my friends. I just have to get my friends to play the game.
nah, man, it's different. That's like saying a Call of Duty player could go and play Overwatch. No, they all have different feels.
Well,
Just like
I
back in the day,
wouldn't say
you had Madden and
Overwatch.
you had NFL 2K and you had NFL Blitz.
Right, yeah.
You look at, yes, they're in the same genre, quote unquote, but I mean, it has a certain feel. I don't want to play
It does.
anything
It
other than
does.
Call of Duty, Apex, maybe some Overwatch. We tried to play X Defiant and the
Yeah.
finals. We didn't like the feel of those. Yes, those are
Yeah.
alternatives, but at this point, it's almost Stockholm syndrome, for lack of a better word.
So so here okay. I get what you're saying, but I also feel like if you are playing a game and I guess because this is like, all right, well, if you play this game because you know how it plays,
Mm.
you're accustomed to that way of playing a game, so you just keep playing that game versus playing a game because you're accustomed to it, but you also like it. Oh wait, no, okay, I've figured out. So I'm gonna jump to Destiny because
Hmm.
Destiny is sort of in the same boat in terms of it has a huge fan base. People technically enjoy the game, but it is those same people that have the biggest gripes with the game. Because even me, when I played Destiny, I literally went from Call of Duty to Destiny. I was like, I don't like Destiny is a better first person shooter, and it's like would I say that now? No, absolutely not. But at that time, I was like, no, Destiny is exactly what I want to play. Like, I love this. I love the space feel of the magic, whatever. But like, as a Destiny player, I I couldn't. There was no way I could convince people to play Destiny because I was just like, well, the game kind of sucks, and it
Because
sucks
they
because
already
X, Y,
have
and
their
Z.
drug of choice, DJ. Do you think crackheads don't want to stop doing crack? Like, look, I don't know if you remember. This is years ago. I don't even know if I can find the article, but a lot of game companies have brought in the same type of people who work on casino slot machines and
Hmm.
shit that has you gamble. They have worked out all the sounds and
Hmm. Hmm.
mechanics in
Hmm.
games that's gonna help you hit these dopamine levels when you're
Yeah,
playing their
like the whole
games.
loot box thing too.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
the gameplay loop. They have refined it to a point where shit. Did we do a article? I think I saw an article about some parents wanting to sue
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Activision or some
Call of
game
Duty and
developer.
Fortnite.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
their kid was addicted to it. Like,
yeah.
it's not necessarily that the games are addicting, like video games themselves, but certain
You
certain
can have
developers.
qualities that are like, as you
There's
say,
the
hit the
whole reason why
dopamine
loot boxes were, outlawed in some countries. They
in
have
you.
they figure out how to make games addicting, and some of them had added gambling into the mix at one point.
Hmm.
Like, yes, there are
Yeah,
alternatives, but nobody wants to try those because it doesn't feel like my drug of choice.
yeah. I think you're right in terms of like, because like that's what happened to me. Like I tried Apex and like, well, this doesn't feel like Call of Duty, so I went back to Call of Duty. But like,
I don't
I
like this
think
meth. Let me go back to my.
so like, I think I just feel like it. I don't know, whatever. We can get back to the actual story in terms of the um where was it? The fact that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was made in 18 less than 18 months. Um this is terrible. Like this is terrible news. Apparently Sledgehammer Games there's a
I'm
let me
surprised it
see,
took
let me
that
see.
long. I will say that.
So so apparently there was a lack of communication for the Sledgehammer developers because they thought at first they're working on DLC, but then Activision said no, no, no. Oh, they thought they were working on DLC for stuff that was going to happen in Mexico. So the DLC was supposed to take place in Mexico. As you as you see in Modern Warfare 3, none of it takes place in Mexico. So that was like already like, oh, what's happening here? And then the communication changed from no, no, no. We're gonna make this like an expansion, so it's gonna be even more content. So they were working off of just bad information in a way, and this just kind of goes back to Activision Blizzard being just a machine. And when you're working with a machine, it doesn't necessarily care about feelings. It will just give you updates, and it's like, okay, you have to work on this update. You'll work off of this update, and it's just terrible. Um, all right, so this is this what I want to grab from? Um, yeah. So then they also had to deal with dealing with time crunch and stuff over
Yeah.
having to produce stuff, and it's just not. It's just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. The hope now is that with these teams now working under Microsoft, Microsoft will treat them a lot better than what Activision did,
We
and
hope.
yeah, we hope. And there's also a thing of like, well, does Call of Duty need to happen every year? Like, can it now move to like a 2-year cycle where we're not getting like Call of Duty Infinity or Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Black Ops, whatever the Sledgehammer game? Like, we can get like one of these Call of Duty games. 2 years later, we can get another Call of Duty game. 2 years later, we get another Call of Duty game. And
Mm,
there's also the possibility of like, okay, well, with Modern Warfare 2 dropping and then going directly into 3, are we not going to get a Black Ops? Is that just kind of done? Or is it just a thing of like, all right, well, because there was also like a mishap in terms of the development. So that's actually why we got Modern Warfare 3.
yeah.
So take that back. So yeah. Uh we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Um yeah. Number 7. This is actually a quick one. Overwatch League is officially dead. Activision Blizzard is transitioning away from its groundbreaking esports league as teams reportedly vote to withdraw. This comes from PC Gamer by way of Andy
Chalk.
Chalk. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, earlier this year, Activision Blizzard expressed doubt that about the long-term future of the Overwatch League, and it said its efforts to maintain the city-based pro esports league may prove unsuccessful. That has turned out to be the case, as Activision confirmed today that the Overwatch League is, as we know it, is finished. Um, I don't want to spend too much time on this. I think this is really good news. I mean, it sucks for all the esports people who was following this and who loved it, enjoyed it. But like,
Yeah.
I think the actual reality is that esports was just ruining the game. And like, if you look at Overwatch 2 was made was modified from Overwatch 1 for the esports players. Like they dropped it down to one person. It's more the maps have been changed to be more like quote unquote esport friendly or whatever. And it's just like, well, look what happened. Like
At
they
this
didn't
point, you're not making a game to make it fun now. You're making it to hit certain metrics. But
exactly.
mm, I mean, go ahead.
No, I mean that's kind of it. It's just like, yeah, you're making these concessions for these players, but you forget that the players aren't the only people making or only people playing the game. Like you need the player, you need the actual casual, I'll say casual players to play these games, to spend money on the loot boxes, to keep
Yeah.
them in the thing, to fund all this stuff to actually produce a product that the also the esport players can play and compete in X, Y, and Z. And it's just like that loop was broken when they made
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 because the actual casual players was like, no, this is not fun. Like we literally have to get rid of a six person on our friends team because you changed it from 6 to 5. And it's just like, why would you do
They
that?
throw more reasons in there too. The initial base franchise fees are 20 million, then
Mm,
COVID hit, then the sexual and discrimination misconduct that Activision Blizzard hit, and China law. This was just
yeah,
getting hit combo after
left and
combo.
right. Right. No, you're absolutely right though. Like there's also the financial uh side of this. And yeah, as you said, like they just wasn't doing well, and then they got hit with something else, so they're not doing well again, and it's just been a cascading thing problem. And it's like because like we had a story a couple of months, actually, wait, like a while ago now about like just esports itself just not being in good state, and it's just like, well, kind of is what it is at this point. So yeah, uh,
We
we
don't have to do
can
that. We can
okay,
talk about it if you want. Up to you.
okay. Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. So, Hades is coming to Netflix. This comes from The Verge by way of Ash Parrish. So,
Yeah, gotcha.
we've known Netflix is serious about its gaming library ever since it added the Oxenfree series, and arguably going all the way back to Hexen Mayhem. I don't know what Hextech Mayhem. Sorry.
Hmm.
Netflix has shown its gaming offerings weren't going to just be silly, time wasting waiting room games, but solid mobile versions of the indie games with name recognition, including the announcement of Braid earlier this week. That's awesome. Never has that idea been more expressed than the latest announcement that Supergiant Games Hades will debut exclusively on mobile via Netflix. That
Mm.
is awesome. Like out of all of the bigger companies we've seen try to enter the games industry, I think Netflix is probably doing the best because we saw Google trying to enter with from the hardware perspective, didn't really work. We saw Amazon also entering from the hardware perspective. I
I
don't
mean, they haven't
know.
shut down yet, so
Yeah, they had. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, and then we have Facebook doing Facebook games and stuff, and it's just like all that stuff didn't really make headway in terms of pulling the attention from like the casual gamer. But like
yeah.
Netflix doing these moves, I'm like, hey, look, you watch shows on Netflix, right? You watch Castlevania on Netflix. Guess what? We have Hades as a Netflix game. And actually, this past week I was watching Netflix with my wife, and when turned on the app or whatever, the first thing that popped up was I think it was Dead Cells, the
Yeah.
Netflix games. I was like, wait, what? And it's like, oh, like that is going to just catch a lot of people off guard. And if they have Hades pop up, like that's crazy.
I'm
So
trying to think of how they can have serious games like on the TV or the phone.
yeah,
I guess maybe like you connect your Bluetooth controller to your phone or something. I don't know. They could
yeah,
probably do
it
something like that.
because as far as we know, they haven't worked out the controller aspect yet. I think there was a patent for a Netflix controller, like kind of like a touch based thing on your phone, but we don't know exactly how that's gonna go. I think, as you say, like figuring out a way of just connecting one of your controllers to your phone to play the Netflix games would probably be the
They
best thing.
probably could do something like the Stadia controller because I think they're connected
Oh yeah,
directly to the internet and then paired
yeah,
with your hardware some kind of way. So we'll see.
that's a good point. So yeah, we'll see. But this is really cool. So yeah, that is it for the gaming news. Let us jump into the games we have been playing. Sean, what have you been playing?
I'll make this short because we're running long. I beat
Hmm.
Burning Shores Horizon DLC.
What do
Damn,
you think of it?
that story is awesome, and
Yeah,
I'm upset. First, I was kind of hurt because you see, oh god, Lance Reddick's character.
yeah,
Because it took
yeah,
so long to start this. I think this came out in like April or something like that. And it's just like, oh
yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah,
like he
man.
was planning to do some big things for the next game, and
It's rough.
I'm
Yeah.
torn on whether I'm like, damn, do they go the get permission from his family to go the AI route and kind
Hmm.
of
Use
generate
whatever
his
voice line they
voice?
can. Yeah,
Yeah, or do they kill him off? Like, oh man, that
yeah.
sucks. But
Or I mean,
uh,
the other side is they recast him. Like that wouldn't be ideal,
you can't
but
recast,
yeah, I
man.
mean that's the thing. Like it's definitely not gonna go well with the
This is
fan
this
base if they recast him. But it's
This is
like
like trying to recast Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. It's just
exactly,
like,
exactly. Yeah, I mean
um,
they could probably do a thing where he all of a sudden has like a disciple and he passes the his mission on to the disciple and the disciple's now doing what he's doing and it's like oh he just died
yeah,
from
but
something
the character Silence just has a certain demeanor and attitude that's
gravitas.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
how do you replace this man? You can't.
yeah.
And then you go through those woes just like Frozen Wilds with the first Horizon game where,
Hmm.
damn, I haven't played this in so long. I am getting my ass whooped, boy.
Yes, man.
But it had a lot of fun surprises in there. I don't know if I want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't gotten to it yet, but
Hmm.
I will just say there are new weapons, new mounts, and the stakes. Their DLCs are as good as the main game, and I can see why this was a DLC. This is a
Hmm.
Horizon 2.5. The
Hmm.
story is very strong in there.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, their storytelling is great. Like there, and then on top of all that, it just looks so pretty. It looks
Yeah,
so
it looks
pretty.
yeah. And they have new machines in there. I think it's like a frog or something, and they have
Hmm.
flies, and I don't know. It's just wild. Y'all play it. Go
Yeah,
play it.
yeah. Like that game's art direction is so imaginative, and it's just the way that they like example the frog. It's like you think like, oh, what would a robot frog look like in this world? And then they do it, and you're like, okay. And the thing is like deadly. It's like,
Mhm,
jeez.
mhm.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really cool.
in the words of Black Bush, the only place next is Mars, bitches.
You're not wrong. All right. So I'll just do the Mario Wonder thing real quick. Let me talk
Yeah.
about Mario. Yeah. So as I said a few podcasts ago, I started playing Mario Wonder. I was enjoying that game. I put it down to focus on Spider-Man. I never got back to it. But then my wife was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play Mario." She grew up on Mario. She's a Mario girl. I'm a Sonic boy. You know, I don't know how we work together, but we do it. But I started playing Mario with her, the multiplayer mode, and it is so much fun. We are in we just beat world 2, so we're in world 3, I think.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
we're not
You have
playing.
Petal Island in between the worlds, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we haven't turned on multiplayer, but I think we're gonna
Oh, you
turn
mean
it
the
on.
online stuff?
Yeah, the online stuff. Yeah, yeah, I said multiplayer. Yeah, the online stuff. Because I think that would be kind of like a cool addition to like how we're playing and like watching how other people do stuff.
The shadows, yeah.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah. We can end this cast by talking about the other thing we've been playing, which is Call of Duty Warf- Modern Warfare Zombies. So, as you know, Sean, myself, and Sean's cousin Sabian enjoyed playing DMZ on Modern Warfare 2.
Mm.
And they essentially took the bones of DMZ, added zombies, and changed up a couple other features. And we actually got to play a match a couple hours ago. So today. Sean, how are you enjoying MWZ?
So I miss the aspect of running across a random person
Hmm.
and not knowing how that interaction is gonna go.
Yeah.
But those interactions faded very quickly with DMZ. They didn't last too long in terms of the lifespan of the game. It just turned into, let's just group up and bully the rest of the map because you know we don't want any real competition in multiplayer or Warzone. I
Yes.
don't know,
Yeah.
but basically they took all that out of the way in MWZ, and you can't shoot other people. You can only work with other people. So when you open your map, you can see all the other player characters on the map. There are only
Hmm.
zombies in there, or zombie and other monsters, whatever the hell you want to call them, and human NPCs that will come and try to mess with your game, or mess with you. And I will
Hmm.
say it may be a change for the better. I still miss those initial interactions with DMZ. You're pixelating out. I don't know if you can still
Yeah.
hear
Yeah. 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 My camera died. Hold
me.
on.
um, there you go.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, it's still fun. There's never a safe moment. You can't just hide behind a rock like you used to in DMZ and
Hmm.
stare at your map to try to figure out where you're trying to go. With DMZ, they always started you on the perimeter, and you kind of usually, I don't remember all
Yeah.
the small points, but they worked your way in. With this one, you will always start on the perimeter because as you get closer to the middle of the map, it has different tiers of danger. Um, you can no longer do certain actions and they will affect your teammates' mission. So I can't like
Hmm.
kill an enemy and it pop up for both of us. Everybody has to do their own work now, apparently.
Right. Right. Right.
And it seems this actually has a, well, DMZ had a storyline, a very light storyline. They had missions and it kind of floated along something. This looks like it has a definitive 3-act story, and who knows where they'll go from there. I'm sure some people have already beat it because
Hmm.
they have no life, or they've gotten up to whatever they've released so far. But I'd say it's a solid addition, and DMZ is still there if people want to play DMZ.
Exactly. Yeah, I am along the same lines as you. Like, I think the idea of DMZ was so appealing to me because it was like, oh man, we can just go as a team of three, as a team of two, whatever, and just like exist in this world. Maybe stumble on some people, talk to them, try to get them on our team, or fight them depending on. But then it just became so toxic because people were able to exploit the system, make like six-man teams almost immediately, and then just run shop through the entire map. And it's just like it was just no longer any fun. So for Call of Duty, or I guess Infinity War, or Sledgehammer Games, whatever, for
Whoever.
Activision game development team to be like, okay, obviously we've created a game mode that is a little too toxic. And what we're going to do is, instead of having it be PvE, is just going to be straight PvE. I think a lot of people are just like, oh my God, like that means that DMZ is going to be gone, is going to be like a horrible experience now. I think MWZ is a right now, it's a good evolution of DMZ in terms of, now when you're playing through the map, when you're playing on the game, if you look at your map, you can see other teams. So you can go over to them and just help them out to do
Hey
whatever they're
guys.
doing. Yeah, exactly. Like they're able to foster this like um, not necessarily competitiveness with people, but like cooperative like experience. And I think that's super cool. I so right now the game footage I'm showing right now is these people running through um a zombie nest. So you run through the nest, you have to destroy like these little like glowing spots to free the nest. And like there's little things you can do in the map that are just kind of little small missions. I think we haven't really got to play through all the missions on the map to really know like what they're like, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of appreciate the straightforwardness of these missions versus DMZ, where it's just like, all right, I read this thing that I'm supposed to do, but I actually have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So let me just look this up. And it's possible
Yeah,
that it could get like more complicated in the
I'm sure it will because knowing zombies' history and all the you had to look up the secrets or just play nothing but zombies because some of that shit was pretty obscure back in the day.
yeah, right. And it's like the hope is that, they the hope is that they fix that stuff so, they are entertaining, but they're not necessarily, super complicated to do. But we don't know because we haven't got there yet. Overall, I think this is a great experience. I've had a great experience playing with Sean, playing with Sabian. I've also jumped in and did a squad fill, and I had a good time. There was one person that just kind of went off by himself, but then he died. We picked him up, and
Mm.
he just started playing with us because he realized like, oh, I can't survive by myself. And I think
Yeah, this is rough solo.
yes, yeah. So like there is also the fact that going because like there's three zones as Sean was mentioning. Like the middle zone is like the most intense. Then you have a wider like orange zone that is like harder, but not as hard as the like outer circle which you spawn in. Going from the outer zone to orange zone, it is such a like a skill check. Like, are you ready for this? Because these zombies have more health. They're more ferocious. They will climb up to get you. So you can't just hide or you can't just like shoot from on top of a truck or whatever. And it's just like, it's kind of jarring because you realize, like, oh, like I'm actually not ready for this. So let me back away. Let me figure out how to upgrade my stuff and then go tackle
Or
that.
they'll just throw shit at you.
Yes, they'll throw flesh at you, as Sean mentioned. Yeah, so like I think it's a great experience. The other side to it is that when DMZ launched, it launched in Warzone, thus it was free to play. This is not free to play, so you have to spend $70 on Modern Warfare 3 in order to get access to this. And a lot of people are just like, "Oh, well, that doesn't feel good." But at the same time, like this is just the package of Modern Warfare 3, so you have
Yeah,
to
they had to
commit to
justify
paying that
that.
money. Exactly, yeah. And then there's also the side of it as like, people who are spending money on this are probably going to approach this a little differently than free to play, where it's like,
Yeah, less griefing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I can just jump on this thing and just be a complete ass to people and just kind of be on my merry way because it doesn't cost me anything. Whereas the people who are paying $70 are a smidgely less likely to do that, just a little bit. But yeah, that's that. That's this, and this is everything. Well, that's it. That's what it's been. This is another episode of Press X Star Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed everything that we've talked about in this episode. We hope you will continue to play games. Maybe try out new games we talked about that you haven't played. I don't know. We'll see. You can see how that goes. Don't forget, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and the notification bell. Don't forget, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or podcast service you're currently tuned in on. Don't forget, you can join a conversation by going on Discord at pressx.com/Discord. Don't forget, wash your hands, play video games, just keep having a good time. Do it. Take care. Was that a duck? That's awesome.
I don't know. I just feel like let me hit this sound effect.
Mm.
We could add press X sound effects. I wonder what we can add. Stop this recording. What is this? 43?
Yeah.
Documents.